Hello everyone, welcome back to this session of lifestyle medicine and lifestyle intervention. This is very important, especially in the beginning of the new year. Many of us are thinking of making many changes in life, and one of the important changes we wanted to make is lifestyle intervention because we wanted to live long, live strong, and live happy. My name is Dr. Chitra. I am a diplomat of American College of Lifestyle Medicine and International Board of Lifestyle Medicine. My purpose of this presentation is to bring an awareness to live how we can bring a lifestyle intervention to live healthy, not just live strong and live healthy and happy. And we already talked about lifestyle intervention, what is lifestyle, and those kind of topics. Today my main purpose is to talk the importance of genetics, DNA, and your genes, how they play a role in your weight gain. Have you ever heard people talking about why me, why not she, or why not he? Because I do everything I needed to do. I follow all the interventions you're telling me to do. I'm eating very moderate and I'm doing exercising every day. But why? I'm gaining more weight than my sister or my brother or my friend. Why I follow, and she eats chocolate cake every day and she looks good, but I'm gaining weight. Have you ever thought about that? Let me tell you something today. Today we're going to talk about the role of genetics or genes or your DNA, how they play in weight gain. Obesity or weight gain is 50-50. What does that mean? The scientists prove that. There are so many research prove that the weight gain is mainly 50-50. That means 50% is what we put in, how we live or exercise or how we move our body. Last week we talked about moving your body. But 50% have genes. There are some studies even says that it's 40-90. What does that mean? There are 90% of genetics can play in your weight gain and obesity. Genes play a very important role in weight gain. Okay. For example, let me give you, this is a study proved. Obese parents, if there are two parents, there are obese parents, there is as much as 10 times the children can become obese. That's staggering, because they can pass on their genes and their children can be 10 times, can gain weight, or they can be overweight, or they can be obese. Or if there is one parent who is overweight or obese, then they can pass their genes to their children 2 times. So that shows that we all have a potential to gain weight if one of our parents are overweight. So like I said, it is 50-50. Genetics plays, even some studies prove that there's 40-90%. Recently, the scientists created something called a catalog called a human obese gene map. Human obese gene map. You can look it up. What they found is they cataloged more than 127 genes plays a major role in our weight gain and obesity. So this catalog genes, they categorized our human genes. They took various genes from our body and they found there are more than 127 genes plays a very important role in weight gain. For example, let me give you some example. These genes are not directly related for you to get a weight gain or obese. They are associated gene. What that means, associated means they play an important role. These genes can be turned on or turned off. We talked about it in our previous sessions. For example, there is a gene called melanocortin 4. The MC4R plays a critical role in regulation of food intake and energy balance. How much you take, sometimes you had a plate full of food but you still feel hungry. So this particular gene, MC4R gene, plays an important role in how much food you take, food intake, and also energy balances, how much energy is spent in your body. So this gene is associate gene. There is another gene called PCSK1. You can look up all those genes because they are all scientifically proved. A PCSK1 gene, also prohormone convertase 1,3 gene, is another gene which encodes enzyme that is necessary to regulate your energy metabolism. What does that mean? We need, there are genes, they're almost like computer program. They encode and they decode. This particular gene is the one responsible for your energy metabolism regulation. In other words, all the enzymes in your body which are necessary to regulate your energy, this particular gene controls. People who have this gene, like mutated level of our associated genes, their energy metabolism can be messed up. Then there is another example I can give is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, plays an important role in stress response and eating. Wow, that's interesting, right? We always think, oh, when I'm stressed, I go and look for a potato chips, or I like a big fat hamburger when I'm stressed. I need a chocolate cake when I'm stressed. Some people, I've seen some of my coworkers eat chocolates when they're stressed. I'm guilty of that too. But interestingly, scientists prove that there is a particular gene which is responsible for stress eating. Some people, when they're stressed, they eat more. That is because of that certain gene, the associated gene they carry in their body. So all those things plays a very important role in weight gain as well as the hyperactivity. The other gene called PCSKI, which is a very rare gene, not everybody have this gene, thank God, is really as a result of severe obesity and uncontrollable appetite. People who have severe obesity, when they did a study on them, and they found that these particular people carry this particular gene. There is another gene called beta-3 receptor gene, is responsible for how your fat is broken down in your body. Wow, that's interesting. Even if some people just put everything in their fat cells, and some people just melt it down. That is because of what gene they are carrying. Listen, I can go on and on, because remember I told you in the beginning there are 127 genes are responsible for that. So what is my point here? So obesity is associated not just weight gain. Obesity is not just associated with, I want to look nice. No, it's also associated with a lot of diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and cancer. Many cancers, like we talked about, breast cancer, colon cancer, all those things are associated with weight gain and obesity. So but what the good news is, okay, you can say, okay, so it just runs in my family, so there is no hope for me. No, that's not my point here. My point is there is a good news, okay? The good news is something called epigenetics. What that means, what is epigenetics is how the genes are altered, their expression, or gene expression is gene control, how they are altered. So how can you alter it? By following lifestyle intervention, what you put in, like some of the small changes. You don't have to do a drastic changes, small changes. Shop wisely. Are you taking 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day? Are you cutting your portion size? Are you going for a second service? Are you cooking enough so that you're not going for second and third service? Are moving, get up and go. What about your sleep pattern? Are you sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day? What about your stress management? What about your emotional well-being? What about your relationship with others, your friends, your family, your children? Okay, all those things are called an environmental factor. We talked about 50-50. The other 50% can control these genes. They can turn it on or they can turn it off. So you can control your own gene. Those 127 genes I talked about, you can control them. How? By bringing your environment which controls. You are the boss of your body. You can control. You can tell your genes, stop it. Okay, so I will be talking about more and more about these topics, and thanks for tuning in today to me. Please subscribe to my channel. Remember, weight gain is not just everything what you put in. It's 50-50. Okay, so you can turn it on and turn it off. Again, this is Dr. Paul Victor. You can subscribe my channel. You can email me, chitrafels@gmail.com. Thank you.